The Bungalow Blitz Network presents the Play to Win Fantasy Football Podcast with your host, Dan and Zach Lind.
This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Bungalow on the Play to Win Fantasy Football Podcast.
I can't believe you do me dirty like that.
My name is Dan. Alongside me, my co-host, the commish.
Hello, everybody.
It's Zach. And
Glad to
I
be
just
here.
want to show this to everybody watching, listening, of Zach's beautiful, beautiful face painted blue and orange. It's just a great sight. For those of you that don't know, just briefly, Zach lost last year in fantasy football, and we have a little side bet.
I did worse than you. I didn't lose. I didn't lose. I didn't get last.
He didn't get last, but
So
I won the bet. And each year we have a bet, and it involves this Packer fan usually painting his face blue and orange, doing something funny. And I think this year I'm going to win again, it looks like. So we'll keep you guys posted on how this shakes up.
we'll definitely be talking about it a little bit more on the podcast.
But you're a trooper, buddy. I love you.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
tonight we have an exciting show. First things first, our league trade deadline is over as of 11 a.m. today. We are filming on a Wednesday. So trades are on. Hopefully your rosters are ready for the playoffs.
Yes, it's down to the waiver wire now. That's all you got left for setting that up. You gotta pull from the waiver wire, or maybe we can get a little collusion going later. We'll talk.
We'll see what happens. But we have an exciting segment tonight. Our beat writer out in Denver calling in and giving us a little bit about what the flavor is out in Denver. Maybe some waiver ads to add. Just look at the Broncos
Yes.
in general. So
Great guy we got out there.
yes,
I'm really glad we were able to expand the the staff
yeah.
to get that Denver reporter.
And if you want to know about a guy that knows numbers, it's our guy. Okay. So lastly, playoff race is getting close. We'll talk a
Yes.
little bit about who's in, who's out, who's on the cusp, who needs to make that final push. So we'll take a look at each division and who's who. But to start, Zach, take us in.
Am I in? I just want to interrupt and ask if
Sure.
I'm still in the hunt.
You are technically not officially.
Technically not eliminated. That's where I
Technically
live.
not eliminated.
Oh yeah, all right.
There is one eliminated team
Oh,
already.
yeah.
We'll get to that. But
No spoilers.
let's start with the
Should we
weekly
jump
recap.
into
Zach,
the recap?
tell us
All
about the
right.
Packers.
Well, the Packers, obviously the best team in the NFC North, without a doubt. You know, we just beat the Lions. We beat the Bears earlier this year. Can't remember if we beat the Vikings. Probably not. But we are absolutely
You'll probably beat the Vikings now.
destroying. Well, yeah, hopefully now. Do we play the Vikings again? I don't know that.
I don't know. I
I
don't
kind
know.
of gave up like 3 weeks into the season on the Packers. But your favorite QB quarterback one in your book, Jared Goff,
Ryan
elite.
Gosling.
Does Ryan Gosling play a
People say he looks like
quarterback?
him. I don't know.
what?
I don't know.
I don't agree. But Jared Goff he threw 3 more interceptions.
Hello?
Hello,
Jared, you're making me look bad here, buddy.
He's making you look bad, and I'm never gonna let you live it down.
That's fair.
whether or not that's what you said. Jared Goff threw 3 interceptions, kind of turning into. I think he's still getting it done for fantasy though,
I think so. Let me
See,
look. Let me look
pull up
into
his stats,
that
because he's turning into like the Jameis Winston of Detroit, where he's throwing a bunch of picks, but then he's gonna throw to catch up. So. He's actually might be a good streaming candidate going forward. We'll see if you get those stats.
Jared Goff still put up 22 points.
Yeah,
He had 2 touchdowns and threw for
That's
over
what I'm
330 yards.
that's
So
what I'm saying.
you take the good and the bad.
Yeah,
So-
Jordan Love on the other side had a good game.
Can we put that up on the
let's put him
screen?
up on the screen.
As
Bada
much as I hate
bing.
the Packers,
Look at that.
Jordan
Look
Love
at that
looked
form
really
he's
good in
got.
this game. I watched
He
this
looked great.
game on Thanksgiving, and
Yes.
I hate the Packers, but you have to give credit when credit's due. And Jordan Love showed up.
22 of 32 for 268 and 3 tutties.
Good
On
line.
the other end of those passes, we had some wide receivers that I'm really excited about going forward. Like I don't. If I'm honest with you, I don't know if Jordan Love's our quarterback next year.
Sure.
But I do know that we're going to have a couple of pretty baller wide receivers in Christian Watson.
Wait, there was a Christian Watson sighting?
There was a Christian Watson. Well,
Fake news.
It's easy when you put him on your bench. Christian Watson on my bench caught 5 of 7 passes for 94 yards and a touchdown. Still out-targeted, or still was out-targeted by Jaden Reed, which was surprising. He looks like an absolute beast, and he's a rookie, and I'm very excited to see what Jaden Reed does next year. I think he's gonna go high, 5th round in drafts potentially.
Got speed, man.
If he keeps this up. He is, and Jordan Love's finding him. So
I think
very excited
for
about
Packers fans' sanity, this was to see the receiver
Oh,
show up
yeah.
and win this game
I was
in
listening
Detroit.
on the radio for part of it. I was leaving for Thanksgiving plans, and oh my, that was so exciting
Yeah.
to just hear, those defensive turnovers and just absolutely getting it done off the bat, which we don't ever do. So
Well, Packers are
exciting.
still in it. So
on the other side of the ball, you got
yeah, we got
that Lions backfield we've been
it's
watching.
the story we've been following for weeks and weeks and weeks. And like I said, maybe the most fun dual backfield in the NFL.
Yes, you said earlier to me that it might be the best backfield, and
I correct myself.
well, you did, and I think but I think I want to be clear because I think you are right in that as a duo. I mean, maybe Miami, but like there's something special with these two backs.
It
I
is.
agree.
It is.
agree
I
with you
mean, the
100%.
speed of Gibbs, the pass catching ability, and then
Yep.
the bruising mentality of Montgomery.
Yep.
And what's crazy about this is that we've followed the snap share of
Yep.
these two backs, and Gibbs continues to climb up, taking more snaps out of David Montgomery's hands.
Sure.
60 snaps to 23 this week.
Yes.
Now the Lions were playing from behind.
Mhm.
So that has a lot to do with getting Gibbs more involved in the pass game. But with that
I agree.
said, Montgomery still outscored Gibbs in fantasy 15.1 to 9.3 in our
Mm.
league. And on the 23 snaps he had, 15 carries, 71 yards, and a touchdown. So when he's in the game, he's getting the ball.
He's good at football.
Yeah, he's getting the
So-
ball. And it's one thing that you had mentioned 2
What's
weeks
that?
ago, goal line touches.
Goal line touches.
Montgomery got all the goal line touches in this one.
yeah.
So
I think I agree. Yeah. Yep.
So-
You win this round.
I-
Okay. We'll see next
keep
week.
continuing to follow this for you guys and for this
And
guy.
for,
So,
and for oh come on.
But anyways, I gotta ask though. Let's stay in this game for just a moment.
Yeah.
The Packers backfield.
Yeah.
Wait, who is the
Which
Packers backfield? Yeah,
So funny.
they won though.
They won. They won. That's
So-
what matters. Well, that's touchdowns. Okay. We'll get into the touchdowns situation. AJ Dillon, did we think he was going to be the guy? He was going to be, and I mean, 2nd round pick, just absolutely not the guy.
Bruiser.
He's a
But-
bruiser. He's a great accessory back. He's great
Yes.
to have, but he's not.
The guy.
He's not a one. And I mean, I'm begging for James Robinson to come up from the practice.
Hey, shout
squad.
out to Rockford there on that. James
Yeah.
Robinson from our hometown.
We need a
Bring him
Rockford
up.
super team, man.
Bring him up to the Packers.
Bring
See
him
what
up
he
to
can
the
do.
Packers. But AJ Dillon looks like junk. Aaron Jones, we're watching for practice reports. I'm not sure if he's practiced this week. I think he was limited. But even if he plays, he's had somebody I saw online called it a lost season, and that is really what I had high hopes for him. He gets targeted. He's a great player, but he's getting a little old.
Injury prone.
He's
yeah.
getting a little injury prone,
Yeah.
and it's just not. I mean, he doesn't have the juice right now, and I don't know that he's gonna suddenly find it. So even if he plays, I'm putting him on my bench if I can at all, and waiting to see how he does.
Yeah.
and we'll pull him up next week.
So interesting game. Good for the Pack, I guess. Boo. But let's get into my beloved Chicago Bears.
Duh, Bears.
The Bears. Now, this game was exhilarating. I mean, if you want to talk just maybe the best game of the weekend, it happened on Monday night, okay? The Bears beat the Vikings in Minnesota by the score of 12-10.
12 to 10.
12-10.
You sure that's not a typo?
I
That's like a
wish it
baseball
was.
score.
I wish it
It
was.
was-
It was a baseball game.
It was the worst game. Okay, I've watched a lot of football, And it wasn't the worst game. There was a game in like 2014 where the Cardinals and the Eagles tied after the entire overtime. But this was the second worst game I have ever seen. And I stayed up because I knew we were going to talk about it today. And oh my God, did I not want it to? It was. I can't even. I'm sorry.
Let's just put this into perspective. If you didn't watch the game, good for you. But the Bears won the game without scoring a touchdown. Okay. And I'm going to go off on a rant here on my beloved Bears.
They deserve it.
Packers fans, you're lucky. We took Luke Getsy off your hands. Who knows? He could have been the next man up on the totem pole to take over OC. The Bears have had some terrible offensive coordinators throughout the years. And I mean terrible. But this guy takes the cake. and I'm sick of it. Listen to this. The Bears threw 21 passes at or behind the line of scrimmage in this game. Of those 21 passes, 13 were screens. They weren't working. And I know Minnesota blitzes the most out of any team in the league, and it's proven to fluster Fields in that offense, but there's other ways to beat the blitz. And that's not NFL quality offensive play calling.
But they won.
Because the defense balled out. They intercepted Josh
They
Dobbs
did
4
not.
times. The one thing, Chicago's defense is getting better. It's looking good. I think they're a few pieces
Sure.
away. But that
They had a
offense
lot
is
of production
bad.
in this game. Absolutely.
Yeah, and a couple weeks back, I kind of hopped on the Josh Dobbs train. I thought.
I think we all did.
I mean, he looked great in that first
Oh,
game. I
yeah.
mean, it was so much fun.
Everybody loves an underdog story. We want the
Right.
next like Ryan Fitzpatrick or
Right,
something.
right.
But
And I think he's better than what he played last night. I really do.
yeah,
But it was ugly.
Yeah.
So,
it's tough.
anyways, we'll finish this off talking a little bit about the Chicago Bears backfield.
Mhm.
This seems to just be a conundrum of who's healthy, who's going to get the touches.
Yes.
At first, the beginning of this year, it was Khalil Herbert was the number one.
Yep.
He
And,
and he was productive when in
He
some of the
was-
games.
Yeah, he wasn't super efficient, but he was a solid fantasy option.
Sure.
He's no longer a solid fantasy option.
Right.
He's-
And then Deonta Foreman came in
Yep.
after the injury, and
Mhm.
he looked really good.
yeah,
And then he went out. Roshan Johnson saw most of the opportunities.
15
in this
opportunities for Roshan Johnson this
Only
week.
8 for Herbert.
Only 8 for Herbert. Yep.
So
So,
don't play a Bears running back.
do you drop Herbert in fantasy?
I think you stash him if you have the bench space because someone goes out.
We have in our 12-team
running
deep
backs
league.
are they're not a dime a dozen. You need a good running back now.
I'll tell you
So,
this: I ain't starting them this week.
Yeah, but
They're on bye.
yeah. Last thing, pull up the
I
DJ
got
Moore
you here.
graphic
Let's
for
see 'em.
everybody. If there is a silver lining in this game for Bears fans, hold on to this. We have a number one. He is the most viable offensive weapon that the Bears have, and maybe
have
the
ever
most
had.
viable. Yeah, maybe, and maybe the most viable fantasy player they have. So he got 11 catches. He had more targets than that, I believe. 114 yards.
13 targets, if the graphic is to be believed.
Yes, 13 targets. And Justin, under 2 minutes, let him down, hit him on a big 40-yard pass, got the Bears down in field goal range, and won the game.
Hey, we talked about the Eagles last week winning ugly, and the Bears won ugly.
They won
That's
ugly.
for sure.
But let's move on from this.
Jump into the
this
Dolphins-Jets
disaster.
game, huh?
Yes, and we're going to give some love to one of our favorite NFL characters.
One of my favorite people
Yeah,
on the planet.
and that is head coach Mike McDaniel. Just show him some love. Tell me why you love Mike
Well,
McDaniel.
okay, he shows up. I mean, we've all seen the clips. I just saw a clip today of him getting kicked in the shoulder by a player that ran out, and I mean, he is what I think I would want to be as an NFL coach. He's a total nerd, absolute dweeb, but man, is he a good football coach. And he shows up. He's got his off-white sneakers. He's got his gold watch. He's got his tracksuit that he wears to every game. And he in New York this week, he's getting talked trash by the Jets and the sideline, like the fans. And he's standing in front of the heater. He's cold. He turns back. He says, "I'm cold." And he looks at the scoreboard. He says, "And I'm winning." How do you not like a guy who comes back? He's willing to, he self-deprecating, but also
Yeah.
winning the game.
He's down to earth. He's funny.
Absolutely.
He's a menace head coach that just puts points on the board and
Oh,
gets the guys to play for him. You gotta love Mike McDaniel. So
Love it.
we had to put the
Love to
graphic up
see
for
it.
him this week.
Yep.
A little bit about the game.
Yeah.
It was Tua had a pedestrian game, 21 of 30,
Disappointing. I've got
243.
I've got the Tua Waddle stack,
Yeah,
and let me tell you, I don't love having the Tua Waddle stack.
yeah.
Just doesn't do it.
Yeah,
I'd love a
Now-
Tua Tyreek stack.
sure. Yeah, who wouldn't, right? I mean, but to be fair, Jalen did have 8 catches on 8 targets, 114 yards.
Yep.
Not the worst game.
Yep.
Tyreek 9 catches, 12 targets,
102 yards.
102 yards, but he also caught the touchdown.
Yep.
Which just it adds that extra,
Yeah.
right?
And he's gonna
So,
catch touchdowns because
yeah.
he's Tyreek Hill. Like he's gonna break away for touchdowns. I don't know how he got it in this game.
Right.
What's the backfield look like?
So, Raheem Mostert just kind of is continuing to stay there with Devon Achane questionable these weeks. He's been hurt,
Yeah.
came back, and you got to think once he's back that carry load goes down. He had 20 carries in this one, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. He leads the league in rushing touchdowns. He has 13, which is crazy. I mean, who would have thought at this point in the season Raheem Mostert would be the league leader in touchdowns on the ground?
I'm surprised he's still healthy.
Yeah, and you just jinxed me. I have Raheem on my team, but
Lovely.
Raheem, stay strong, buddy, and we'll kind of see how
I'm just
this.
gonna look into this. Where's Devon Achane at?
He's
Bulk?
low, but
Bulk. What team's he on?
that's Irony Titans.
Irony Titans.
Yeah, so
Rip.
yeah, R.I.P. We'll talk about that later.
Talk about him more later.
But are we really going to talk about the Jets in this? We do have to mention one thing. There's been breaking news as of today.
Yes. Aaron Rodgers coming off the IR officially
What?
for eyeing a Week 16 return. I said earlier, I think
He is one with the universe.
the crystals are working. He is one with the universe. I think he comes back. I think he does. I don't know if he should. I don't think it matters. I don't think the Jets are going to be in it, but I think he wants that attention just enough to risk the rest of his career, whether that's a couple years or more. I
have a hard time believing if the Jets aren't in it that he comes back. He's too much. He's already said he's coming back next year. It's too much of a risk. It's build that Achilles up and give the Jets a fighting chance next year, because if he was healthy this year, they're going to the playoffs. I'm
we need
sorry.
a little wager on whether. All right. Well, we'll
Maybe,
we might need to come up with a
we can tease
wager
that. We
on
can
whether
tease
or
that.
not Rodgers comes back.
Yeah.
Oh,
But you want to get into Bills Eagles?
Oh, I'd love to get into Bills.
So
Eagles.
let's put the Jalen Hurts graphic up for everybody. This was a fun one.
Got it done, man. Got it done. Jalen Hurts had roughly 10 fantasy points at half. I've got him in another league. I was clenching my cheeks, and he got it done in the end. He had 40 fantasy points, 40.5 in the 6-point league that we have.
What about the rushing yards and
Well, that's where he
5
does it.
total touchdowns?
He's got 200 passing yards. Is that right?
Yes.
But 65 rushing yards, and then that touchdown to end the game. Just absolute menace. For
Here's
the
here.
defense.
Let me give you something here. Even though the Eagles are like 10-1, they've been in so many close games this year. I don't think that they've really unlocked their full potential yet.
No, they got nowhere to go but up.
And it's
except
like
down.
this game to me proved. I think that they're going to be there in the end.
I think so. Man.
It's going to be
Who's going to challenge them? Who in the
maybe
AFC, or
San
in the
Francisco,
NFC
but
maybe San Francisco.
This one to me, seeing Jalen ball out like that, and there's more chemistry with Devonta.
Did you see his reaction and to the field goal that tied him for overtime?
No,
just stone face, just
Dude,
ready to go.
He wants this Super Bowl so bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Eagles look good,
They look
but
good. How about the other
chemistry
side?
with Devonta.
Oh, yeah.
106 yards 3-4 weeks ago. We were kind of getting on Devonta.
What's going to happen with him? And he's back. I
Last
guess?
4 games have been good.
Yeah.
So a lot of targets. Maybe AJ has something to do with that. But AJ still balled out a little bit.
Got the touchdown.
Got the
which saved
touchdown.
his day. Otherwise, he'd be down at like 6 fantasy points.
Right.
On the other side of the ball, Josh Allen also got it done.
Balled out.
29 of 51 for 339, 2 touchdowns. He's got 1 interception.
Now, that one interception, I've been on Josh Allen for the last couple podcasts. It was costly.
Yeah.
And-
Oh yeah.
And it was only one this
They
week.
lost
but
the game.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I've heard, I kind of follow the Bills sometimes on independent media in Buffalo, and if you would just take a check down, they might be like,
What is a check down? It's what Josh Allen says to
yeah,
that.
and it wasn't even it
suggestion.
wasn't a far pass at all.
No,
but
he's
it was
gonna
just,
run it or chuck it.
Take a check down, man. Take a check down. But
Absolutely.
he also
Diggs-
81 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So big game for Josh
Diggs was
Allen.
back up to 11 targets, which really excited me as I got him again. There's another league, guys. I hate to break this to my beloved Remember the Titans fantasy football league. I have another league, and I'm not out of the playoffs in that league, so I'm in I think 3rd place. So I got another priority, guys. But Diggs having 11 targets. I mean, I think he had a down week last week, but he's locked and loaded. ESPN has him as a can't drop, I believe.
Okay.
I mean, Diggs was I think a great pickup this year.
Okay. Finish this off. Talk about Gabe Davis, the mysterious Gabriel Davis.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
mean,
Hello?
what's
What-
going on with Gabe Davis?
I don't know. And I don't want to speculate.
Yeah.
I just want to get him as far away from me as possible.
Yeah.
Let other people, I don't want to deal with him.
Yeah.
He's
Don't touch Gabe Davis.
scary. He's scary. Well, if you got him, play him.
Yeah.
But if you, but also get rid of him because he is terrifying. I would not know what to do.
Yeah.
I had Mike Evans last year, and he kind of felt like this. Like he never got it done, and then you benched him. I benched him
Mhm.
week 16, I think,
And he got it done.
and he got it done. 50
Yeah.
points.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not who
Frustrating.
you want. It makes fantasy
Frustrating.
football impossible.
Definitely. But we are going to move into our new segment with our beat writer out in Colorado. We are excited to have him on the podcast. If you want stats, he's got stats. And he's going to give you a deep dive a little bit into Denver, the Denver Broncos, and their little bit of a winning streak here. But welcome to the show, John. How
How's
are you,
things
buddy?
in Denver?
Thanks, folks. Yeah, what an intro.
You got it, buddy. How you guys got to be excited out there. I mean, 5 or 6 game winning streak now. You beat the Chiefs. The team's looking good.
Who's that new coach you got?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's great, boys. Broncos are back, man. And like, as much as I want to believe that, like, the Broncos are truly back, like, all I have to do is just look at some of the they've done, like week 2 or 3,
Yeah.
and they look excellent. They look like they're a team that's going to win some games.
turning it around.
That's awesome, dude. I mean, it's good to see. Tell us a little bit about the defense. I mean, they've come alive here, and we don't talk defense much on the Play to Win
No.
podcast, but it's
This is
getting
a
down
defense
to
we're
playoff.
talking about
It's-
because
yeah,
they're the
and-
ones that gave up the 70-point game.
Right.
So
And
Yeah.
where are they at in your
So
expert opinion?
they've won 5 in a row. Yeah, they've won
Mm-hmm.
5 in a row against really, really solid teams. And I think it has to do with the Sean Payton, right? Like, he came, we talked all that about Broncos' previous head coach. I'm not even going to say his name. But as soon as Sean Payton came in, he had to make some changes.
Yeah.
And they beat Green Bay, they beat Kansas City, they
Huh.
beat Buffalo in Buffalo, Minnesota, and then Cleveland. So they beat some really
Yeah.
solid
that's
teams.
a good
Yeah.
stretch.
And I think probably the biggest things to like point out here is that the Denver defense would be the best pickup you could make on your team over the next 5 weeks. And hear me out. And I know that 70 points scored on them in 3. Okay. Vance Joseph done a really good job of turning this around. And in the past 4 weeks, defense is ranked number 2 against all those teams that I listed.
Wow.
That's wild.
Wow.
So
So
I don't know
that's
if you
awesome.
heard the call for his, called for it in Denver, and you get in the same page with this team. But yeah, it's a different team and definitely a different situation.
Absolutely.
very cool. What about Russell Wilson? I mean, obviously getting a lot of hate at the beginning of the season. there was a lot of controversy over the contract and how he's played, and it hasn't been. Let's ride, Broncos country. But is the ship kind of turning around? Are they using him differently?
Yeah, I don't think he's ever going to live down the left ride. But he's right now, and the strong kid is way more consistent. He's having like 2 TDs a game, just 2 TDs a game in the last games. He's also running a little bit less, but if you've watched the games, he's running the ball, and he's not just like looking for a run option. He's looking for a pass, and he's pulling those defensive backs and those linebackers. He's putting them in a really awkward spot, and he's putting the ball into the wide receivers and tight hands.
Cool.
Well, speaking of the wide receivers there and those pass catchers, where do you see we've made a lot of drama with Jerry Jeudy going up to the trade deadline? We got Cortland Sutton. What's that wide receiver core looking like in your opinion? Where do you see the fantasy value?
The thing with Russell Wilson, it's kind of hard, right? He's only going to pick 150, maybe 200 yards a game. He's only had 2-3 yard passing games, and those came in week 2 and 3 early in the year.
Yeah.
But I truly think that over the next few weeks, Russell's going to probably go off with wide receivers. Obviously, Sutton, you're going to be your guy. Mims might be a good position guy. But Jeudy has really performed this year in terms of catches and touchdowns, but yards, obviously, like all year, he's just not been playing excellent. But I had a question for you.
Oh,
of the following teams that I list, who has the least passing yards, rushing yards, and defensive he's given up out of these defenses? So which one of these defenses has given up the least amount of those? All right, ready? Texans, Chargers, Lions, Raiders, or Patriots?
I feel like this is a trick question, but
was that Lions in there?
I think Lions maybe, right?
So it's actually the Patriots. The Texans are the 7th worst pass defense right now. Chargers are the 2nd worst, and they play twice. So you have to remember they haven't even played the Chargers division yet.
Yeah, they got 2
the
games
Lions have given up, and the Lions have given up the 5th passing team defensively this year.
Wow.
Top 5 is pretty significant.
To add to that, the Chargers is going to be week 17, so that's going to be championship week for a lot of leagues.
Yeah.
It's going to be they're
really
a matchup to target all year.
Good question there, John. Let's end it on.
Well, I'm the one that asked it.
Oh, was it? Let's end it on the Denver backfield.
Oh no, I'm not.
What do you see about Javonte Williams and Samaje Perine?
Yeah, so Javonte's obviously going to be a really good choice. But what I'm seeing and what a lot of the play calling is happening here in Denver is that Perine's more of a favorite for the passing backfield. Although, like last week, he only had 1 catch out of the backfield. It was for 11 yards or whatever. But 2 weeks ago, he caught 7 receptions for 6 yards. So he's definitely seeing more of those passing downs, where Javonte is more of the consistent back. But he's getting a lot of carries, a lot of passing downs as well.
Are you starting Perine in a shot? I mean, we're in a 12-teamer, and we got a deep. I mean, we're a 12-team 2 flex. Perine's, I think very well in flex consideration. What are you starting him in a 10-teamer, or are you letting him sit aside for now?
He's been my rotation guy.
Okay.
He's been a guy that I put in. He hasn't had any, like last week was one of his more significant games. But
Sure.
But what I'm seeing is he getting more.
It's
more
moving in that
put
direction.
into the play.
Good to
And
know,
I wonder
good
if
to
it's
know.
Javonte. I wonder if it's Javonte surgery that he had in the offseason. I wonder
Sure.
if it's starting to play a role in the week 12 gets that could definitely play a role, and you can Perine
You
get
can
some more
see
carries.
it across the league. We're getting deep in this season.
Running backs are important right now. John, one last thing before we get you out of here. If there was a player that may be on waivers, or for one reason or another you might want to look into, some fantasy managers may have kept them on their team. What do you
You'd
tell
have
me
to
about
be clairvoyant to see that.
Zach Moss? Tell me about Zach Moss.
Yeah, if you haven't been living underneath a rock all season, you got to be paying attention to Zach Moss. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor drama from the past at the beginning of the year, and continued, and once he's back in, if you dropped Zach Moss after Jonathan Taylor came back. Shame on you. You should have picked him. He was a guy. That has put even consistent points with Taylor in the backfield. He's 10 in running backs for yards and TDs in terms of fantasy speaking, and that's even doing those weeks where Taylor took 70% snaps.
Yep.
Sure.
Looking at our league, he was picked up in August by Successful Man, and he's still sitting on that roster.
Right.
Yeah.
And shouts
gonna
to
slot right in.
Successful Man who also picked up Samaje Perine. So
Yeah,
he strengthened his RB situation.
0 RB. I'm telling you, 0 RB might be the strat.
Yeah, but Jono, we really appreciate you calling in. We look forward to many more call-ins on the Play to Win Fantasy Football Podcast. We appreciate your coverage. And
Next time, we're going to send you to Seattle.
yeah, I like Seattle.
All right.
We're going to send you. We're sending you around the country. I'm announcing it live on the air to tape.
Yep.
That you're our new traveling reporter.
All right, Jono.
Beautiful. I love it.
We're not paying for
real
your
quick
flights
before
though.
I get off.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's fine. I got plenty of points. But before I go, make sure to watch CSU tonight. Buff takedown number 20.
Is that college?
Let's go.
What is that? What is that?
See you
College
needs-
basketball. College
Basketball?
Oh,
I don't know what either of those words mean.
I don't know. Maybe we need to Play to Win college basketball podcast. I don't know.
You're gonna have to find someone else.
Jono, enjoy the game.
All right.
We'll catch you next week, buddy.
Thanks, Jono. We both died for the button. All right.
Love that guy. What a deep dive
guy.
into
What was his name?
John.
John.
So
Everybody say thank you to John.
please, we're gonna
I
get
knew
we're
it.
gonna get him on the road and get you some more. I kind of like the dive into like a
different
team
each
that's
year.
like
Yeah.
no one's
And-
really looking
well,
at Denver.
Here's the thing: no one will know if he's not in a different city. He could
That's true.
do it all from Denver.
He could.
We just won't tell anyone.
Yeah. Well, we got limited
Very
funds here
exciting.
on the Play to Win Fantasy Football Podcast. but-
Join our non-existent Patreon, please, because I need a Sunday ticket.
Yeah.
All right.
But let's get into this
Power ranking.
power. Wait.
Oh God, are we gonna do? Oh, this is a thing now.
I love it.
All right. Well, I do have a couple of quick announcements within the power rankings to discuss. 3 teams have now clinched playoff berths. We've got Successful Man, we've got Your Ad here, and we've got the one and only Pearson Spector Lit.
Come at me, bro. Let's
Come
go.
at him, bro. You guys, congratulations. You are guaranteed playoff spots. Now you're fighting for that first week bye or, you know.
I would really
seeding.
love to close out that first week by this
Yeah.
week against
Yeah.
Commish here.
Are we playing this week?
We're playing this week.
Oh, my God.
So,
This isn't good.
these teams locked up the Vinnie Mac division, the Sister Anthony division, and the Lou Backroad
Backroad,
division.
yep.
Those top spots are taken, but well, actually,
also
I don't know if they all are yet, but we have someone that's officially, mathematically eliminated from playoff contention.
Mentally, I'm right there with you. I consider myself eliminated from playoff contention, but
I'll make
Chuck
sure that job gets done this
and
week.
the Irony Titans, you out, guy. I'm sorry. You're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. You want to hear a funny stat? This is a weird one, but Tom Brady in his career never took a snap where he was mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Every snap he took, there was still a route to playoff hopes. That is
That is
not the
insane.
case for Chuck and the Irony Titans.
That is insane.
You out.
But a couple matchups this week.
Yes.
Heim Time, the team that I've been telling everyone, keeping your eye on Heim Time.
Yes, you have.
Took down Successful Man.
Yeah.
Successful Man's now dropped 2, but with Zach Moss coming back, Samaje Perine and that Denver Broncos attack.
Yeah. Does it matter? Clinch the playoffs.
Yep.
8-4, so he's a game ahead of Heim Time.
Yes.
So that was big for Tom to close that gap a little bit,
Yeah.
and I think Tom, you are 99% for the playoffs. So
Yeah.
congratulations.
Yep.
I want to talk to the bottom 6. Okay, bottom 6, my people. Okay, we got the Swifties at 5-7. Myself, the Chicago Bearskin team at 4-8. We got the fluoride-filled chemtrails. Not that we're condoning that the legitimacy of that team name. 5-7. Tarf Swagmaster also 5-7. We've got Syracuse Atomizers, Craig's team, 5-7, and we've got the Ironing Titans, who we already discussed at 3-9. Guys, I want to hear on the podcast formally announce my founding of the coalition to destroy Dan's football team. We're going to trade everybody we got to one person. We're going to make a push for the playoffs, and we're going to take them down. Okay? The coalition of losers is now formally declared for the 2024 season. Okay? I'm thinking you all give me your players, and you give me a shot. Because if I don't beat him, I'm going to look like that in a couple months. And I don't want to look like that again. I won't do it.
Listen, people are coming at me from all angles right now. I encourage you not to do this, but best of luck, because I'm winning this thing. I'm taking down the championship. I think I've outscored some of you guys by 300-400 points this season. So, yeah. I'm going to stand tall and fight back on this one. That I'm going to hoist that trophy for the second time in this league's existence.
4 years? 2 trophies?
4 or 5?
5 years?
4
It'll
or
be
5
5
years.
Yeah.
2 and 5, not bad. Let's make it 3 and
That's a
6. I'll
lot.
be a dynasty. Some of you are just like,
Come on, guys.
it's not coming in.
We might have hit
Inexcusable.
Inexcusable.
I mean, Jim Mora's got to say it.
I just hope we can win a game.
Just one of you win a game, then step to me. All right?
This is a dumb game we play. Why do we do this to ourselves?
I don't know. I probably just jinxed myself after this fantastic season.
Let's take them down, guys.
But no.
Oh.
Anyways, it's been a fun year. Let's close out strong. Let's
Absolute
see.
pleasure,
Some of you are
guys.
still in this thing,
Yes.
so don't.
Yeah,
give
you're
up.
not out. You're not
don't
out.
listen to this.
And
guy.
they're in there. I want to remind you, there is the toilet bowl. So don't, we need to prep for the postseason. You all got a chance for a win. So
Yeah, and hey, and if I beat him this week, he'll be officially eliminated. And around Christmas time, we'll be going to JMK, and you'll get to see Zach in this face paint and a Dick Butkus jersey, and we'll have some hibachi. And he'll give a little speech about how I'm a superior fantasy football manager. So we all want to see that around the hibachi table. We'll get a little miso soup going. We'll get a little sake, and it'll be fun. So anyways, let's close it out. Thanks again for tuning in
thanks, guys.
to the
We
Play to Win
appreciate
Fantasy
you
Football
watching.
Podcast. Take care.
I give up. This is sad. Hey!
This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win.